Every single day, over 9 million people pass through airport security checkpoints around the world. 9 million people, each one carrying a bag. Each bag holding secrets, some innocent, some bizarre, and some that make even the most unshakable TSA officer stop dead in their tracks and say, "What am I looking at right now?" Because while most travelers pack the usual clothes, toiletries, a laptop, there's a surprisingly large number of people who apparently thought it was completely normal to bring a human skull or a live penguin, or, and this actually happened, a functioning rocket launcher. Today we're going inside the world of airport security to uncover the most jaw-dropping, head-scratching, and downright unbelievable things ever confiscated at checkpoints around the globe. Buckle up, or rather, and take off your belt and put it in the tray. Let's start with animals, because apparently, a non-trivial number of people believe airports are just another form of Noah's Ark. In 2006, customs officers at Los Angeles International Airport discovered a woman who had hidden 2 live birds of paradise underneath her skirt. The birds were wrapped in cloth and strapped to her legs. She had also packed a dozen rare orchid bulbs in her underwear. This was not her first attempt. In Miami, a man was caught trying to smuggle 50 live tropical fish strapped to his body, sealed in water-filled bags, hidden under a specially constructed apron beneath his clothes. The fish were alive. The man was considerably less comfortable. But perhaps the most surreal animal discovery happened at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi Airport in 2010, when Thai authorities found a live baby leopard, sedated, hidden inside a suitcase, alongside several stuffed toy animals. The smugglers' logic, apparently, was that the leopard would just blend in with the plush toys on the X-ray screen. It did not. And then there was the man stopped at Frankfurt Airport in Germany who was carrying 2 pygmy marmosets, the world's smallest monkeys, hidden inside his underwear. Officers noticed the man was shifting unusually. The marmosets were confiscated. The man was arrested. Now this next category is a little more somber, but no less strange. Human remains at airports are more common than you'd think. And surprisingly, most of the time, they're not illegal to transport. Ashes of deceased loved ones, for example, are permitted on flights in many countries, as long as they are properly documented. The problem is not everyone documents them properly. In 2012, a woman at Birmingham Airport in England was stopped when security noticed something unusual in her carry-on bag. Inside a ceramic urn, wrapped in towels, were the cremated remains of her recently deceased husband. She hadn't told anyone. She just brought him along. That same year, a passenger at Greater Pittsburgh Airport was found to be carrying what she described as a keepsake. It was a human skull. Purchased, she claimed, at an antique market, complete with teeth, and traces of candle wax, suggesting it had been used in some kind of ritual. Security let her continue after confirming it wasn't a threat. The skull presumably also made its flight. And in Florida, home to many of history's strangest airport stories, officers found a full human skeleton in a checked bag. The passenger said it was for medical purposes. Whether anyone believed them is sadly not recorded. Now, weapons. This is technically what TSA is supposed to be finding, but even here, reality has a way of exceeding all expectations. In 2014 at Philadelphia International Airport, an officer noticed something distinctly cylindrical in a passenger's bag. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a functioning RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade launcher. The passenger, a military contractor, insisted he had simply forgotten it was in there. Forgotten. In 2019, a man in Nashville was stopped carrying a walking cane which, when examined more carefully, turned out to be a concealed sword cane with a 21-inch blade hidden inside the shaft. He appeared completely surprised that this was not allowed. But for sheer creativity, nothing quite compares to the passenger at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport who managed to hide a loaded firearm inside a hollowed-out book. The title of the book? The Art of Invisibility. We are not making that up. The TSA reports confiscating an average of 5 firearms per day in the United States alone. In 2022, they set a record, 6,737 firearms in a single year. The majority of passengers carrying them claimed it was accidental. And then there's a category that defies easy classification. Items that aren't illegal, aren't dangerous, aren't even particularly explicable. They're just deeply strange. At a checkpoint in the United States, officers discovered a full-sized, fully assembled chainsaw in a carry-on bag. The chain was still on it. It was not in a case. The owner seemed confused about why this was an issue. At London Heathrow, a passenger attempted to bring on board a full glass aquarium, complete with live fish, gravel, decorations, and approximately 8 gallons of water. When told it wasn't allowed, he was reportedly very upset about the fish. In Dubai, customs agents found a live cheetah crammed into the back seat of a car being transported as cargo. The cheetah was wearing a collar. It appeared to belong to someone wealthy and extremely short on good judgment. A traveler in Thailand was found to have packed 200 live tarantulas in small plastic containers, carefully arranged inside a checked suitcase. 200. The man was a collector. The tarantulas, presumably, were not traveling voluntarily, and in one of the most bewildering cases ever documented at a U.S. airport, officers found, in a carry-on bag, a fully operational miniature steam engine. It was beautiful, apparently. It was also made of metal, produced real steam, and contained a small boiler. The passenger wanted to show it to his grandchildren. He was allowed to check it in as luggage. The grandchildren, we can only hope, were impressed. But beneath all the absurdity, there's a darker side to this story. Because while most of these cases end with nothing more than a confiscation and a very awkward conversation, some of them reveal something more troubling. How sophisticated people have become at trying to beat airport security. Smugglers have hidden cocaine inside fake pineapples, hollowed out, resealed, almost indistinguishable from the real thing. Heroin has been found packed inside hollowed-out picture frames, inside shampoo bottles filled with black-dyed liquid, and, in one particularly elaborate case, dissolved into the fibers of a painting that passed through customs, undetected, for weeks. In 2017, a suitcase at an Australian airport was found to contain 10 kilograms of methamphetamine hidden inside wine bottles. The liquid had been replaced completely, and the bottles resealed and relabeled. It's a reminder that for every baffling story about a man trying to bring his grandmother's ashes in an unlabeled jar, there's someone, somewhere, running a far more calculated operation and counting on security to be distracted by the chaos. Airport security is at its core a strange theater. Millions of people, millions of bags. An X-ray machine that sees everything, and still somehow every day produces something it has never seen before. A baby leopard asleep among stuffed animals, a sword hidden in a walking cane, a man with 2 tiny monkeys in his underwear shuffling toward a gate. The world is stranger than we imagine. And sometimes the only thing standing between you and that strangeness is a conveyor belt, a scanner, and a very patient TSA officer asking you to please remove your shoes. If you made it this far, drop a comment. What's the strangest thing you've ever seen at airport security? And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, because we're just getting started.